And welcome to the Rising Stars webinar for May 2023. Just a quick introduction for those who are new to the Rising Stars webinar. My name is Karima Kiat and I am the Marketing Manager for GRB and will be hosting today. So as the Marketing Manager, I oversee the candidate growth, the overall marketing activity of GRB. And having just worked for GRB over 3 years now, and in all different departments, I've got a wide range of experience over the years. So along with that, I manage GRB's affiliate program, which allows students to recommend us in exchange for some excellent rewards and incentives. I organize the yearly events that we go to, such as career events, any freshers fairs that may be on. And I look after our free mentoring program as well, Graduate Mentor, which I will tell you a little bit more about later. And of course, I manage the Rising Stars as well. So first of all, I'll tell you a little bit more about us as a company, then we can move on to our 3 wonderful candidates. The GRB group was founded 26 years ago by Dan Hawes and Chris Cater, and have grown it to become the go-to platform for university students, recent grads, alumni, and recruiters as well. We actually have over 75 staff now and growing, and over 2,000 clients across all sectors, with clients such as Amazon, IBM, Unilever, and Ocado, and several other SMEs too. And our recruitment experts have successfully matched thousands of graduates with either graduate or executive level jobs. So we are not the average recruitment agency. We have other aspects to us as well, including our 2 experienced hire divisions. So we have Cortex, which supplies IT grads with up to 5 years of experience after university. Metrica, who supplies numeric grads with up to 5 years of analytic experience after university to organizations all over the UK. And then we have Graduate Mentor, which we launched in August 2020 as a free platform for graduates and students to have one-to-one mentoring sessions with experts in their field. We have over 5,000 graduates on the platform now, and over 300 mentors as well, all kindly volunteering to offer career advice, CV help, interview tips, and a whole range of other things. So we also have LinkedIn groups. So a number of these that we have discussions with recruiters, students, and graduates about their experiences. And then we have GRN, which stands for Graduate Recruiters Network. This is an invitation-only group for clients and associates, and we have over 3,400 members. And we talk about various issues within graduate recruitment, and we have regular monthly webinars to discuss this as well. So then, of course, we have our Rising Stars. So this came about by our recruitment experts contacting students and graduates and identifying those who really stand out. Now, this is a great opportunity for graduate employers to see through a shop window of our pick of the UK's finest talent. And every month, our team of experts carefully screen and select who they think are exceptional university students, essentially the best in class for 2023. And we showcase a shortlist of 50 Rising Stars on our website, enabling you to view their profiles, request a CV, and the access is actually entirely free. So every 2 months, we host a short webinar just like this one, interviewing a small selection of Rising Stars to discuss more about what they're looking for in an employer and where they want to start their career. So as you can see, there are many facets to the GRB group, and I thought I'd give you a little overview so you have a good understanding of who we are as a company today. So now we're going to find out about our 3 Rising Stars we have here today. I will have them introduce themselves to you now and then give a brief overview of their background, and then we can learn a little bit more about them. So Janifa, would you like to go first?
Yes, hi. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Janifa, and I am currently a master's student at Imperial College London, and I'll be graduating.
Jakub's from University of Manchester as well.
Carry on, Janifa.
Yeah. So I just had my final exam yesterday, and from now I'll be working on my dissertation, which focuses on biotechnology use in gene expression. And I'm really excited to do this dissertation because it ties in a lot of concepts that I've done both in my undergrad and my master's. So I did my undergrad in chemistry before moving into chemical engineering. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Janifa. And Josiah, would you like to go next and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Morning all. Apologies, my camera's not on. Having a bit of a hardware issue here, but yeah, so I'm Josiah, currently study electronic engineering at the University of Manchester, and really looking forward to sort of leaning towards a career in consulting, as I'm quite interested in the business route as opposed to a technical career. So yeah, good to meet you all.
Great, thank you, Josiah. And Jakub.
Good morning. My name is Jakub, and I'm currently finishing my 4th year of MEng here at the University of Manchester. I'm studying aerospace, and yeah, I had my last exam yesterday, so now I'm a free man, and currently I'm looking for opportunities in the industry and also in the academia. So I'm considering either continuing my education in research as a PhD or actually going to the industry where I'd like to stay in the aerospace sector.
Great, thank you so much, Jakub. And yes, we have two Manchester students with us, and funnily enough, everyone's name starts with a J as well. So it's an interesting mix. Lovely. So you are almost pretty much finished your final year now, and you'll be free, as Jakub said, and ready to enter the world of work. So what would each of you be looking for in an employer? And what are your expectations in your next role? So Janifa, would you like to go next?
So I think the first thing that I look for in an employer is a company that allows their employees to really develop, providing like extra training on the side or like development programs. I think that really shows that the employer cares for their employees' own development and growth within the role. So while doing my research, I have seen a lot of graduate schemes that provide mentors on the role, so you can have a talk with them whenever you need to feel like you're a bit confused and lost. And I think that's really helpful, especially because as a graduate, you might not have as much experience. And then the second thing I think is the culture and the environment in the workplace. I think diversity is a really big thing for me. So having a company caring about diversity and the people, I think that would be an environment where I would fit and be comfortable and also enthusiastic to work as well.
Great, thank you, Janifa. And Josiah, how about you?
Yeah, so I think for myself, what's really important is first off is a sort of pathway to development, whether that's in in the improvements in sort of career role and the tasks I'll be working on, sort of management development, but also increasing levels of responsibility. I find that I thrive when I get the opportunity to sort of show my skill set, and responsibility gives me the opportunity to do that. So yeah, always like I say, pathway to improve and increasing levels of responsibility.
Great, thank you. And Jakub.
So for me, it's important that the employer really cares about my development as well. So as a young graduate, I don't want to start at a position where I will stay for the next 5-10 years. I'm looking forward to develop professionally and individually. So try to be, in some sort of leading position, try to be a team member, just, following some instructions. So I think this is very important because what I have right now is mostly academic, theoretical knowledge, and I'm eager to apply it in the industry. So giving me the opportunities to actually apply it and learn is very important. And secondly, I think the work-life balance. So, as an engineering student, I know that there's a lot of work that can be done remotely, and where it's not really necessary to sit at a desk with other people for 8 hours each day. So I think having opportunity to work remotely where it makes sense is also something I'd be looking for in an employer.
Great. Thank you, Jakub. Yeah, I think work-life balance is a really important topic nowadays, especially since COVID. We've all realized that we don't need to be at the desk all for 5 days a week or so. So yeah, that's a really great point. And all of you touched on development as well and training. I think it's really important as a graduate that you're not just shoved into a job where you're just expected to know what to do and to know what the next steps are. So it's really great that you've all touched on that, that training programs, development, growth opportunities as well to learn. So it's not just a job, it's a learning opportunity as well. So great points. Okay, then. So let's just talk about red flags. What would stop you from going forward with a company, and what would put you off? Janifa.
Okay, so I think one thing that would put me off is like the environment. I guess I mentioned before the cultural fit, so that would be one thing, but also just the overall environment and the um, working within teams. I guess in some places there might be more of a competition or always being compared with one another. I guess that's fine to a certain point, but then it can get to an extent where it can put down team morale, and like I won't be feeling as enthusiastic of doing work because it won't I'll always feel in competition with others. So I think collaboration is one thing that I really value. So lack of that would put me off.
Great, thank you, Janifa. And Josiah.
Yeah, so I think two things which would put me off is firstly ambiguity within the job role, and also the second is a lack of diversity. I think if I was applying for a role and there was quite ambiguous about the work I'd be doing, future opportunities for development and tasks I'd be working on, it put me off because I will be able to sort of prepare and really get my teeth into the role. And also diversity. I think that working with people from different backgrounds with different perspectives is really useful, and it allows me to sort of open up my own perspective and get a larger sort of viewpoint on the world and the work I'm doing. So a lack of diversity would put me off from entering into a role with the business.
Great, thank you. And Jakub.
Yeah, for me, the cultural fit is very, very important, for sure. And usually you can already feel it during the interview or during the interviews, but uh, as an applicant, as a potential employee, you won't really know in detail if you're gonna fit with the team or not. So for me, like when I'm in the stage of looking for jobs, potential employers, one of the things that I found is a kind of payment scheme that is not really what I think any person is looking for. So if, for example, the employer claims, oh, you can earn up to, let's say, 35, 40,000 pounds per year, uh, and then if you actually come and see the workplace or actually read the terms and conditions, you see that this is actually conditional, and the condition is that you have to work this and that amount of time, or you need to complete this number of tasks. So what you find out is that unless you work 50, 60 hours a week, there is absolutely no way you can be close to such a wage. So being really realistic and honest about expectations about my work and about what they can offer, because there are some schemes that are based on your performance, and when you actually try doing the job, you find out that there is absolutely no way you can get anywhere close to what they claim they're offering, and it might be too late when you already become an employee. So yeah, being really honest and clear about what they expect and what they can offer is very important. And it's a red flag is if they can't be really clear about this.
I think that's a fantastic point, actually. You want a company to be open and honest with you right from the get-go. From the job description, you want to know exactly what you'll be doing, what you can get from the type of work that you're doing, and what it's expected of you. So I think that's a fantastic point, Jakub. Yes, and diversity as well, as you've all touched on too. I think, yeah, it's really important to get the different opinions, to get the different walks of life around you, and to have your mind opened as well, and to share your own experiences. If you aren't from that country, it's nice to just have that almost support group of other people from other places around the world. So, yeah, great points, everyone. So. As you're coming to the end of your university career, you must have learnt a lot along the way, I assume. But are there any new skills that you'd like to develop on, or any existing skills that you'd like to improve? Janifa.
So I think one skill that I think I would want to keep developing while working is anything that has to do with digital skills, especially after COVID. There has been such a big shift. So I think having that, as I said, with development programs that maybe the company offers, I think having that would really give the employees a chance to keep like getting those skills up to date and always have like some kind of edge in the workplace so they can all contribute. So I think that's one big thing. And another thing that I would like to keep develop is my data analytics skill. It's been a big skill within my degrees, and so it's something that I'm looking forward to further develop because I'm quite interested in it. So I have been doing already some programs, and I'll be joining one in the summer. And I think there's no limit to improvement. So I think that's one thing I want to keep going at.
Great points. Thank you, Janifa. Yeah, data analytics nowadays is just so important. Pretty much any job that you're going to go into is going to be based, your work will be based on some form of analytics. So yeah, that's a really good point to improve on and to keep going at. So thank you, Janifa. And Josiah.
Yeah, so I think, my degree, and I think at University of Manchester, they're really great for this. Jakub can probably vouch for that. But, we do a lot of technical work, we develop our technical skills. But what we sort of miss is developing our interpersonal skills, professional skills, the opportunity to sort of deliver presentations, especially on an engineering degree, which is quite technically focused. So as soon as I get into a job role, they're the skills that I'd like to develop immediately. So giving as many presentations as possible, sort of networking with people right the way across the business, and also hearing about different career paths. I've done sort of interns at Rolls-Royce, and one of the most valuable experiences, beyond the sort of technical work, was the opportunity to talk to directors, presidents, chief engineers, and hear about how they got to where they've, got to the sort of position in the career they have. So as I say, those skill sets, sort of interpersonal skills, professional skills, but also, how I can develop my career and develop sort of, a vision for my career as well, whether that's a skill or not. But yeah, thanks.
Great. Thank you, Josiah. And Jakub, how about you?
Yeah, I'll expand on what Josiah said because we come indeed from the same environment. I think having a personal mentor is real luxury that not everyone can afford, but having at least lectures or being able to hear from people from the industry, from well-established positions such as, in Rolls-Royce or other large companies in the UK is very, very beneficial for to be graduates or to be employees. And I think that this would really, really help everyone. However, the problem is that you can't solve it just by delivering these lectures and inviting speakers on campus. You actually need to give students the opportunity to attend these lectures. And often I found that we have some very, very interesting speakers here, but we just can't attend because we're overloaded with coursework or we need to prepare for exams. So you're put into a position where you need to, it's a lose-lose. You either need to sacrifice your marks or you will hear an interesting story, inspirational speech from a person in the industry. So actually implementing or somehow, you know, uh, combining these career opportunities, seminars or webinars and talks with the actual coursework would be very helpful so that you don't feel a sense of guilt every time you do go to a non-mandatory lecture, listen to someone from the industry. But this is very important, certainly, and I agree with networking and soft skills are extremely important, especially for people in engineering. So yeah, I think maybe not only in the degree itself, but also working with people from other degrees and other backgrounds, because I've delivered many presentations, but I've always spoken to engineers from my class. But maybe speaking to people who do business or people who have never heard about engineering or never studied engineering might be very different. So this is something I'd appreciate.
Yeah, those are great points of expanding your knowledge, not just within your industry. I think that's a really important thing to think about. And yes, as Josiah touched on, the networking, the interpersonal skills, it's not just about the job at hand. Sometimes the way to excel is to network and to reach out to your network and your contacts that can get you different places, different jobs. So yeah, I think those are really, really good points. And of course, some universities do have mentoring programs, which is fantastic. Some companies have mentoring programs, but us here at GRB, we've created this graduate mentor spin-off of GRB to allow students that don't have the career mentor or the university mentor. So we've kind of allowed people to sign up for that and get free mentoring sessions on the side of their university. So that's also a bit of a useful trick that we've got. So thank you all for that then. So after being invited to an interview, I'm sure you'd want to know a little bit more about the company beforehand. Now, how would you research companies to find out as much as possible about them? Janifa, would you like to go?
Yes, so I think I do tend to follow the usual steps at first, which is, visit the company website, read about the About Us page and all their values, their goals, and anything interesting that they're up to. So they always like publish articles, some companies on their website, so that's always interesting to read. Also following them on social media such as LinkedIn, and always see what they post and also what other people have to say in the comment section. For example, it really says a lot about the company and what other people think. So that's first steps I take. And then I always find it useful. It's not always there, the chance of doing it before an interview, but I think it's always useful to attend networking events, whether it's from the university or online webinars such as this. I think it's always useful because then you can sometimes get to talk with the person or graduates that have been working within the company, and can they tell you a lot more about the role maybe that you're interested in, and that gives you further insight into the company and whether or not you'd be a good fit. I think that's the most valuable thing I've been doing and the most useful thing.
Great. Yeah, that's great, Janifa. Thank you. And Josiah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to add after sort of what Janifa mentioned there. That's quite a comprehensive answer. But I think beyond the sort of, research online, LinkedIn, I tend to go on Glassdoor, look at the reviews that have been left, people's experiences within the business. But I also tend to use LinkedIn to sort of be proactive and network with people directly. So in the past, what's worked really effective is just messaging people on LinkedIn, seeing if they've got 20 minutes at a time, just to ask them a few questions about their experience and also sort of perhaps impart some wisdom on how they've been so successful as well. And that's worked really, effectively for myself, because I find that people are always looking to, help those following the same career path. So, beyond what Janifa said, the sort of general research, networking events, just approaching people directly has been really effective.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's very useful to be reaching out to employers of the company that you're going for as well. I know I've done that in the past as well, and it works a treat. So it is a really good way of kind of getting your foot in the door, getting them to recognize you, and get some tips and tricks from them too if they're up for it. So thank you, Josiah, and Jakub.
So for me, it's the Latin proverb acta non verba. So I look at what they've done, not what they say usually. I know that some companies have very nice websites and, even videos and really work on their engagement with potential employees. But what I like to look at is what they have actually achieved and what they did in the past. So were these successful projects? How large were they? Were they delayed? What was the volume of the contract? What engineers work for them? What people are actually working in that company? And this tells me a lot about maybe the culture and the style of work and the expectations of the employer. So if there is a high turnover and some of the employees who are currently working there don't actually pass the minimum requirements that they list on their website, for example, or if you can't really find any notable achievements of the company, any projects they worked on, it's not a red flag, but it's certainly something I'd like to ask about during, for example, interview or inquire more about, because yes, it's really what you do, what tells you most about the company, because the headhunters, they usually know how to sell themselves very well, but yeah, it's the actual crude facts that tell me the most.
Brilliant, thank you. Yes, that's a fantastic point, definitely. So then, after you've all consulted all the aspects that we've discussed, what is the final deciding factor that makes you want to apply for that specific job? Janifa.
So I think, so after I've done all my research, even before applying, I think the thing that it's most important, I think, is back again to the cultural fit. If I don't see myself working there and going in every day, being enthusiastic of my work and being able to do it just because I'm uncomfortable in such an environment, I don't think that's a good thing. So that would really put me off from applying, but also maybe make me apply even more. So if this diversity or the culture is quite good, so that's one thing. And then career development. So if I can grow within the role and advance in position over the years, then that's another thing that I look for.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, I think definitely the feel of you going into the company, if you can picture yourself there, is a really important factor. So yes, thank you. Josiah.
Yeah, I think you almost took the words out of my mouth there, Karima, the feel of the role. I think, when I'm collating all the information, sort of doing the, creating an application, looking on the website, networking with people, it somewhat creates a vision in my mind of what it'd be like to, to work for a business. And I kind of, cross-reference that vision with the vision for my own life, my own career goals, where I want to be in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, and ask myself the question, do they match? Am I excited? Am I, I always tell this to my friends when they're talking to me about, roles they're applying to. I say, 10:30 at night, are you sat, not wanting to sleep because you're excited to do the work this role can offer? And that's what makes me want to apply and work for a business. That kind of exciting feeling. It makes me want to, it feels like it's going to get me close to my overall goals in life. And yeah, that's how I make my decision.
Yes, love that, Josiah. I think that's really well put. The excitement the night before, that's always a telltale sign, isn't it? Jakub, thank you.
Well, couldn't agree more. You need to really like what you're doing, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare in the long run. But overall, I'd say I think it's altogether what we've mentioned. So if there are no really red flags, if the company is diverse, it's a very good cultural fit for me. The projects that they are working on are, is inspirational, because for me it's important to know that I'm working on something that really matters. It's not just something that will, get cancelled in half a year and I will get assigned to another contract. I need to know that I really do something that matters, and I can, even though there will be problems, which there will be, I can go to work and really keep working because I know it matters. So yeah, I think really all together what we've mentioned on the personal level, like with the team and with the culture, and also on the sort of broader, more abstract level, on the goals of the company and their work and what they're striving for. This is really what needs to be in order and aligned with my interest for me to really decide, oh yes, this is the place where I'd like to work.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jakub. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And it's really been great to know a bit more about you guys and what you're looking for in your employer. And I wish you all the luck for the rest of the year, really. I know some of you might have finished, but people, maybe if you still have exams or coursework, then I wish you luck. So I will just mention, for those who are watching, you can access our Rising Stars by visiting the link in the description below, grb.uk.com/rising-stars, and click View Rising Stars. Each person will have their info with a short bio about themselves. You can then view the candidate and request their CV. And as I mentioned earlier, it's completely free to request the CV. So if you would like to actually contact me directly with any questions, all my details are on the screen, and as I mentioned as well, will be in the description below too. So thank you for watching our webinar, and we'll be back with 3 more Rising Stars for you to find out about. And I want to thank Janifa, Josiah, and Jakub for joining us today and letting us know more about you and what you're looking for in your employer. So thank you so much, everyone.
Pleasure. Thanks to hear from you all.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.